Beginning on October 1st, Tyler Herro will be eligible to sign a 3-year extension with the Miami Heat worth up to $149.7 million. And if the organization wants to keep the good off-season vibes going, it should steer clear of offering him a deal inside that ballpark. This has little to do with Herro's contributions or his importance to the team overall. There is no arguing his in-house value anymore. Bam Adebayo is the only player who usurps him in the franchise's pecking order. Miami has also doubled down on its faith in Herro by not adding a conventional floor general this summer, or another on-ball scorer like Jonathan Kuminga. Norman Powell can do some on-ball work, but the lion's share of his utility isn't rooted in self-creation. Still, signing Herro to the full freight gets dicey when scaling forward. The Heat have set themselves up to be incredibly flexible next summer if Andrew Wiggins declines his player option, or in 2027. When Wiggins, Herro, and Davion Mitchell will all be coming off the books. A Tyler Herro extension eats into the Heat's 2027 offseason flexibility. Assuming the salary cap continues to increase by 7%, Miami is scheduled to have over $90 million in spending power during the summer of 2027. That is money the front office can use to help grease the wheels of a blockbuster trade, sign a star free agent, or even do both. Tacking on any money whatsoever by extending Herro compromises that financial pliability. His new deal would kick in for the 2027-28 campaign, so during the 2027 offseason. If the Heat give him the full boat now, he'll be on the docket for $46.2 million, which obliterates more than half of their projected cap space. That is largely fine should Miami believe Herro will command that price point on the open market. He'd be eligible for a $53.1 million starting max salary if he hits free agency. But the odds of him getting that money are slim. The bar for max contracts is being raised in the era of aprons. Herro is not someone guaranteed to be worth 30% of the salary cap for the life of his next deal. Even signing him to a max extension now means he will, on average, account for 28.1% of the cap during those 3 years. That's not a terribly higher number, but it's also not a bargain. Extending Tyler Herro can also hurt the Heat next season, too. Negotiating an extension with Herro gets a lot more interesting if he's not signing for the full 3 years and $150 million. That still doesn't make it a slam dunk. Miami continues to be among those monitoring the availability of Giannis Antetokounmpo. If Herro signs an extension that gives him more than a 20% raise, he won't be trade eligible for 6 months. And since he can't get a new deal until October, this removes him from any mid-season package the Heat might need to cobble together for Giannis or another star. Plus, even if he could be moved, there's no guarantee another team values the additional years and money lopped onto his current deal. Sure, we're trafficking in layered hypotheticals here. But that is how big-name hunting works in the NBA. The Heat are assured of nothing. All they can do is largely what they've done so far, maintain flexibility on both the forthcoming free agency and trade markets. Extending Herro this October would run in stark contrast to that plan. Miami Heat guard Norman Powell reportedly will debut for the Jamaican national team in August. Jamaica will face Mexico, Barbados, and Costa Rica in the FIBA World Cup 2027 Americas pre-qualifiers this summer. Even though he was born in California, Powell has Jamaican heritage, making this a great opportunity for the Heat guard to thrive on the international stage. Powell, 32, was traded to Miami in a 3-team deal involving the Los Angeles Clippers, his former team, and the Utah Jazz this offseason. In the 2024-25 season, Powell averaged a career-high 21.8 points per game, while shooting 48.4% from the field and 41.8% from three-point range. A 2019 NBA champion with the Toronto Raptors, Powell has been in the mix for the NBA's 6th Man of the Year award in recent seasons, finishing 4th in the voting in the 2023-24 season and 2022-23 campaign. There's a chance that Jamaica could have a roster filled with NBA players, including Powell as Justin Champagnie, Washington Wizards, Julian Champagnie, San Antonio Spurs, Josh Minott, Boston Celtics, Amen Thompson, Houston Rockets, and Ozar Thompson, Detroit Pistons, could all end up representing the nation. Both of the Thompson twins have said that Jamaica could be an option for their future in international play. As for Powell, he'll look to thrive in the FIBA World Cup 2027 Americas pre-qualifiers as he prepares for the 2025-26 NBA season. The Heat are hoping that Powell can help them improve upon their record from the 2024-25 season when they finished with the 10th best regular season record in the Eastern Conference. Miami ended up making the playoffs by way of the play-in, but it was bounced in the first round by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Powell should provide the Heat with another proven scoring option next to Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo. Plus, the veteran guard has experience playing a featured role off the bench from his time in Los Angeles. The 2025-26 season is the final season on Powell's contract, so he has a major incentive to have a big year for Miami before he hits the free agent market next offseason. Earlier this offseason, in a move that would have angered fans, it was reported that the Miami Heat were interested in trading for DeMar DeRozan. While those original rumors certainly quieted down, they could be ready to ramp up again. And at this point, such a move would make even less sense for the Heat. In the words of Alan Stiles of a Sacramento radio station, he believes that there could be a handshake agreement between the Kings and DeRozan. If the Kings are able to land a deal for Jonathan Kuminga, who they're reportedly pursuing, he believes they will then work hard to hammer down a trade of DeRozan. One hypothetical that he threw out revolved around the Heat sending Terry Rozier and 2 second-round picks to the Kings for DeRozan. Stiles references the smoke surrounding a DeRozan to the Heat move earlier this offseason and the fact that Miami could still be looking to make upgrades to the roster. The Heat shouldn't burn assets in a gap year. Theoretically speaking, the Heat could add DeRozan without hurting their future financial flexibility. However, it will cost the team in other ways. Whether DeRozan is the right schematic fit, especially with the idea that the Heat would want to embrace a youth movement of sorts, remains to be seen. But it probably wouldn't be the most shocking of moves. Still, I'm not sure this is a move the Heat should pursue. Instead of trying to make a short-sighted move to try and save face with the fan base, which would hardly work in this case, the Heat should embrace their mediocrity in this gap year. It's too late now for half-measure moves, and burning 2 second-round picks for one season of a player past his prime that probably won't raise the ceiling all that much for the Heat is not the type of move they should be pursuing. It is quite odd that the noise surrounding a potential pursuit of DeRozan just stopped, especially considering how loud it was earlier during the offseason. You can't help if both sides tabled the idea or talks of such a deal on purpose, knowing they could also revisit it just before the start of next season. And we may have arrived at that point. Again, all of this could be moot, especially if Kuminga doesn't land with the Kings. And most of this is simply educated speculation, but it's certainly a possibility to keep an eye on. And one that Heat fans probably wouldn't be completely behind.